From the north, an army of 70 strong was on the march, carrying bows and lances, and deemed to be the strongest warriors of their clans. They drove their wagons and horses, faceless under their gold masks and hidden by their lacquered armor. They moved haltingly, like machines as they marched, in sync in perfection. They thirst for plunder, eagerly awaiting to divide up the spoils of conquest. They marched on the sands of the desert wastes and into the snow-covered mountains to the west. They made their camp for the evening. 3 men were around a campfire, and one rose to his feet and squatted down to stoke the fire. "Look at the sky," Jack said, tending the fire. The skies were streaked with gray clouds, banishing the moon, and thunder was heard miles throughout. "It's going to be one hell of a storm." "Yeah? No shit," Aaron spat. "It's going to slow us down by at least a week." "Why are you so eager, Aaron?" Joseph said. "You've already arranged your funeral?" "Wise ass. You of all people should know what this means to me," Aaron said. A quiet fury crept into his voice. "If I prove my valor on the battlefield, it will prove the valor of my clan. I can set right the follies of my forefathers." Aaron felt the weight of the shield on his back and saw his reflection of the flames from the fires of his spear tip. "This is my claim, my reason for being here." "Right," Joseph said. "What's your purpose for being here?" Jack asked. "Me? I'm here for the money, and that's all," he said. "Unlike Soldier Boy here, I don't feign to hold much higher principles." "What's that supposed to mean?" Aaron demanded. "Nothing. We're fighters, warriors. There's a nobility in war. I dread the day when its nobility is called into question. And it's over. They said those who live by the sword shall perish by the sword." A voice called from the outer dark, and he emerged to the lights of the campfire. He wore a thick, long-hooded black coat lined with wolf's fur. A curved longsword in its scabbard held in his red sash. He hid his hands in the loose sleeves of the coat as he approached the fire. The 3 men rose to their feet and brandished their spears. The man held his hands out. "I'm a traveler," he said calmly. "We can see that," Jack said, pointing the spear at the man. He approached the man slowly and took possession of his sword. "We're going to hold on to this, traveler. It's for your own protection." "Sure." The traveler squatted down to the ground and warmed his hands near the fire. "I heard you spoke of war," he said. "Whatever your object may be, you're executing the vision of a conqueror onto a foreign land. There'll be a reckoning of fire and brimstone if you continue to carry on this vision of a madman." The 3 glanced at one another. Aaron approached the traveler slowly and pointed the tip of his spear at the face of the traveler. "What's your name? And state your reason for being here." "I don't have a name." The traveler brandished 3 knives from his sleeves and hurled them at Aaron, Jack, and Joseph. They sank to the floor. Darkness began to take them, and their blood stained the snow. The traveler rose to his feet and recovered his longsword. As he proceeds forward, a weak hand grasps his ankle, and the traveler bends down, turns the dying man onto his back. The traveler held the hand of Aaron as he lay dying. He drew in his last breath, and his eyes went sightless, and the traveler closed them. "May your death serve a greater purpose," the traveler said solemnly. The traveler saw torchlights coming down the mountain to the camp. He patiently waited for them. The soldiers stumbled upon the dead bodies and the traveler. He coolly sat on the log with his head down and brandishing his sword. As he looked up at them, and through his hazel eyes stared the eyes of vengeance, glittering with venom. "Who are you? What have you done?" one soldier demanded, and pointed his spear at the traveler, and the others began to encircle the traveler's flank. "I'm a messenger," he said in an excruciatingly calm voice, "and I am here to deliver you the due rewards of your deeds." The traveler's blade whirled at a speed beyond what the human eye could decipher. Years of experience concentrated in the movement of his sword and body, mowing down 6 spearmen unawares. Blood and bone, spattered from the sword, turned the ground from snow white to dark red. Then there came a chilly noise, not of a battle cry or a curse, but a blood-curdling howl that echoed through the night, reverberating throughout the mountain ravine. And the alarm was sound. The heathen raged, and the traveler took a deep breath and readied his blade. He dashed up the mountain pass and towards his fated clash with the Storm Lord. The traveler stood before the Storm Lord's legion of troopers, clad in armor from a foreign land, inherited from their ancestors whose bones are very dust. Faceless, anonymous under their helms, and armed with bows and lances and shields, he stood alone. He readied his battle stance and held his blade high with a 2-handed grip. Sweat was dripping off his brow. His hands were trembling, and his breathing was heavy and quickened. "No," he thought. The traveler reaffirms his grip. "Steady your heart. Clear your mind. Do not give in to fear. I will not die, not today. I will see my duty fulfilled. And as a warrior," he told himself, "there's no road left but the one that leads to the end." An archer shot his arrow from his bow at the traveler. He caught it in mid-flight and snapped the arrow shaft in 2. Swift as the wind, the traveler dashed and beheaded the first warrior he saw. "Taking on this many men is suicide, but one by one they will fall to me. My blows must be targeted and quick. Any misstep, I'll be dead." A lance jabbed out. The traveler deflected the blow and thrust his blade into the soldier's heart. He sank to his knees, screaming as everything he had ever known swirled into darkness. He writhed in agony as he lay dying on the face of the ground. Another soldier moved in, making a heavy 2-handed overhand at the traveler, but he evaded and riposted. The attacker lay headless. He pressed his assault, faster with every stroke, deadlier and quicker than the last. Always attacking, moving in, the bodies were strewn along the stony path like victims of a natural disaster. Sword against sword, metal screeching on metal, the traveler smashed through their lines, dashing them into pieces. He was the whirlwind mowing down the herd of his accursed foes. He was an east wind to pluck them from the face of the earth and to cast asunder the encroaching storm. Indeed, he was one of the strongest swordsmen under the heavens. "My body is so heavy. I'm so tired, so spent, an aching sack of muscle. Why am I doing this? Why am I here? I must be insane." He noticed the banner of the Storm Lord, a cloudburst on a black field. "Right. I'm coming for you."